Hello everyone, welcome to Quest on Friday, last quest of the week. So I have a few announcements and I'm going to give you some instructions about work time. So let's go to the announcements. I'm going to show the different scores that each group got for their competition and some things about getting higher scores. So some of the groups that got higher scores, they ended in a safe place at the end of the match. They might have had multiple people in a safe place, and there were 30 bonus points for having either no or up to one penalty for rescuing the robot. So here are the scores. This is for both quests. So the winning team was JP and Show with over 200 points at 219. If you want to pause the video so you can take a look at your scores, go ahead and do so. These are the first, second, and third place for each quest. So for quest 2, Max and Miles got first place, Asha, Samantha, Ava, and Quinn tied, and for third place, Ainsley and Kate. Good job, everyone. I know you worked really hard. Just to remember that the competition did not affect your grade for this quest. I was looking at your in-class work. So on to the next thing. So the second part of our culmination is the innovation fair. This is going to be due next week. This is where we're at on Friday. We're going to spend today working on the slideshow and the script for the last part of your culmination. This is all about showing comprehension. So your presentation, your slides, and your audio and your script is under the show comprehension competency. And then of course, at the end of today, you'll take a exit ticket survey where you rate how well you are collaborating with your partner, and they will do the same for you. Your homework is just finish your draft of the slides and script. Whatever you don't finish in class will be homework due on Wednesday. Okay, some reminders about these presentations. They should be between 3 to 6 minutes long. Don't worry about the audio yet. We'll do that next week. The script and the slides includes all 3 parts of your work this term. You will be evaluated as a group, so don't just divide and conquer. Make sure you work together to create the best presentation. Your work will include a final draft of your innovation. So you did make a sketch in part 3 innovation assignment, but your final slides will have a final draft. When you're writing your script, make sure everyone is presenting equally. So write the names of who's going to say what on your script. And let's go. So here are some examples of innovations from previous years. So this is what I mean by final innovation. Your draft, it might be a sketch, but here are some examples and see if you think that it's just starting out, still working on it, or really getting it. So this is from a previous year. Here are just a few slides from their slideshow. They created an app as their idea for their innovation. They didn't create the app, but that was their idea. So what they did is they actually took some images and they mashed them together to show what the home screen of the app would look like, what the warning alert screen would look like. Again, they didn't just copy and paste this from another idea online. They actually typed this in and made it look as if what their app would show. And then finally, they showed what an emergency alert would show up on a phone. Okay, so these are the slides for that part of their presentation. Out of all of these, think about if you would have given them which score, and which one they ended up getting was really getting it. So their work did meet the expectations. Their slides might have been a little boring in terms of the color and the font, but in terms of their innovation, it was really getting it. All right, one more example. This is their slide for their innovation. They talked about heat detectors, detecting fire, and then underground tanks of water that get alert from these detectors and let water out to put out the fires. So this is their first slide. And then this is their diagram. So this shows their innovation. So based on this, thinking about what level you think they would get. And if you picked still working on it, you were correct. Now their first slide was great, but their innovation was still just a sketch. So you want to make sure if you do a picture, your doing a final version of a picture, you're using a ruler, you're not just doing it in pencil, you're going over it in pen and color. And then instead of just taking a photo from your Chromebook, you'll actually maybe scan it in using the scanner upstairs in the office. So that would be how they would get really getting it for their innovation. Okay, so what are you going to do today? So you're going to be working on your innovation fair script and your slides. On Toddle, this assignment is already posted, and so you just need one for your group total. So you'll share it with your partner. Some of you have already done this. What you do first is all of the notes that you both took from part 1, the science, you're going to copy and paste it into your script. Okay, so one partner has all these notes about hurricanes, another partner also has notes about hurricanes. You're going to copy and paste it, and then you're going to combine them and edit them so that it makes it into one seamless script. So you can delete any redundant things, any things that are not necessary to describe the science. Then you're going to decide which information will go on slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, and decide how to organize. You should probably have 3 slides, more or less, for each section. So the science will have about 3 slides, technology 3 slides, and your innovation 3 slides. You could do a little more, but you probably shouldn't just do 1 or 2. You can guess what comes next. Then after you do that with your part 1, the science, you'll go to part 2. Each of the partners will pull up their work from part 2, copy and paste it into their script, combine them into one seamless script. So again, delete anything that is repeated, make sure it's in complete sentences, and make sure it reads and makes sense. Once you do that, divide all that into about 3 slides, maybe a little more. Decide which information goes on which slide. So you just type that into your doc, and you can probably guess what comes next. Finally, you do that for your innovation. Now for this, you just should have 1 assignment, so that will be pretty easy. You just go ahead and take the innovation, copy and paste it over, and then decide what information should go on each slide. Now in this one, if you worked in bullet points, you're going to want to work to make it into a paragraph so that when you're reading your script, then you read the full sentences and you're not just listing bullet points. Okay, so that would be your script. Once you have that, then you move on to your slides. Now, some of you already started slides, that's fine, but I like doing the script first because I know then what images and what headings and what bullet points and things to put on the slides. So I put a bunch of example slides. You can use those as templates, or you can go ahead and just delete them and work with the blank slides. Some people wanted to work in Canva. That is totally fine. Just make sure you share the Canva with me and you upload a link to it. Here's some of the blank slides that you'll see in the assignment on Toddle. Again, there's only 1 side for the science, but of course you're going to have multiple slides because you have more than just a couple things to say. Your slides should look professional looking. Here's an example of one. It's not too much writing. You're not just copying and pasting the script over. You're just writing the main points, maybe some headings, and definitely some images. So this is what you're going to work on for work time. Kyle's going to pass out a handout that is a checklist. You're going to work through that checklist. The first thing I recommend working on is your innovation fair script. So you'll copy and paste your parts 1, 2, and 3 into the script. Delete any extra info or repeated information. You're going to combine each partner's work into one seamless script so that you're not saying the same thing over and over. And any extra info that you don't think is important anymore, you can go ahead and just delete that. Make sure your script is written in complete sentences. Decide which sentence goes with which slide and who will say it. So maybe I will say the first 3 sentences with slide 1, and then my partner will say the next 3 sentences with slide 2, however you want to divide it up. Okay, after you plan your script, then you're going to work on your slides. Make sure it's a professional looking slide. There's an example on your handout of a professional looking one. Also use headings, bullets, images. Do not put too much writing on each slide because you're going to say it out loud in your script when you're recording the audio next week. And then if you're finished with those 2 and you have time, then work on your final draft of your innovation. It's not the sketch from part 3. The assignment It's actually sort of your final version that's going to go in your slideshow. I have a couple of examples of what to do and what not to do. And then whatever you don't finish today is homework. So make use of this time so you don't have homework over the long weekend. That's all I got. Have a great Friday, and I look forward to seeing your work when we get back.